humility. Tired of being tired, I'm tired of false stability. I just wanna make a couple dollars, fly to Italy, take a trip to Golan, travel to the motherland, spend a couple of dollars in villas overlooking sand, disappear with the phone, just a couple of plans. I wait, remember I'm on the planet where little men kill each other for chains. It's insane, need a plan somehow, gotta get on my feet, arouse from sleep, no time to be concerned with the luxuries of the beach. We trap, how did we get so fascinated with we? My people dying too fast, can't lose a minute, we need to rise. As I try to envision the first steps, get distracted of stress and lose sight of the rest. It's too hot to think, it's too hard to rise. In this pot we sink, and we all reside inside. If you slip or you fall today, don't lose your grip, don't you fall away. Stand up 7 times when I'm praying for the tribes, and I don't wanna lose you. Slip or you fall today, don't lose your grip, don't you fall away. Stand up 7 times when I'm praying for the tribes, and I don't wanna lose. I hate the throwaway bars, I hate the arrogant way. I hate the music the Father ain't never given to play. We wonder why we in hell, we even killing the faith. We look just like all the people we say are lost in their way. I pray as you listen, each of these bars will hit them. Even to all the niggas disguised as brothers in faith. Guess the light's on you, the more eyes on you, the more your weaknesses are seen. Your disguise won't do. Look to the skies, who surprised all the champions and guys you looked up to, you find they were all trying to. The nation still got gods. Kill the spirit for a kill our odds of getting out here alive. If you slip or you fall today, don't lose your grip, don't you fall away. Stand up 7 times when I'm praying for the tribes, and I don't wanna lose you. Slip or you fall today, don't lose your grip, don't you fall away. Stand up 7 times when I'm praying for the tribes, and I don't wanna lose you. Cause I only give you true. I pray the spirit give you juice too. I've been with you through the trials, now I'm with you till you make it, and I never wanna lose you. He said I'm with you to the end. No greater love ever been. Then I be praying for my twins, everybody in the tribe, make it to the end. Cause I only give you true. I pray the spirit give you juice too. I've been with you through the trials, now I'm with you till you make it, and I never wanna lose you. He said I'm with you to the end. No greater love ever been. Man, I be praying for my twins, everybody in the tribe, make it to the end. Yeah, give me the tech. We up by 30, but these shots ain't finished yet. We up like 30 sending shots through internet. Some of these ox are dirty, got the flock up in the net. Thank God we not your dinner yet. Teaching sin with your doctrine to the wise, you been a threat. Yep, this for them 7-day keepers. Friend shirt reaper. Can't read your spirit, but you smell like reefer. Yelling loud, drunk, proud, nigga, street preacher. Never call for prayer, but every word is a beeper. Album this long, but Jesus can't get a feature. Millstone tossed in the sea, don't wanna see ya. Like that, a lot of brothers praise these artists, we fight that. Saying you in love with the law, but you attached to the image they created. And dog, we biting back. You got bars, that's cool, we at the start of the end. What you gonna use it to do? Make these brothers repent, but you want brothers attend. It's at your biggest events. Even if they dead in the spirit, this is the spirit's revenge. Just keep your head in the spirit and guard yourself from the sin. Each melody in your mind, it ain't too late to rewind. And remember why we decided it's about time if you choose to. I lost a lot, but I can't afford to lose you. Slip or you fall today, don't lose your grip, don't you fall away. Stand up 7 times when I'm praying for the tribes, and I don't wanna lose you. Slip or you fall today, don't lose your grip, don't you fall away. Stand up 7 times when I'm praying for the tribes, and I don't wanna lose you. If you slip or you fall today, don't lose your grip, don't you fall away. Stand up 7 times when I'm praying for the tribes, and I don't wanna lose you. Slip or you fall today, don't lose your grip, don't you fall away. Stand up 7 times when I'm praying for the tribes, and I don't wanna lose you. If you slip or you fall today, don't lose your grip, don't you fall away. Stand up 7 times when I'm praying for the tribes, and I don't wanna lose you. Slip or you fall today. Don't lose your grip, don't you fall away. Stand up 7 times when I'm praying for the tribes, and I don't wanna lose you.
Out in my ride, so much on my mind, just trying to catch a vibe. Thinking about my people, it seems they all blind. They thinking they know the truth, but no, not up to 12. Try. Some say we a nation that's built up on tribulation. Some say we was taken and put in this situation. I say honestly, man, it's a little bit of both. Just take it from a nigga who parents native and Haitian. White folks stole my people's land, but we gon' take it back, cause the Most High put the power in our hands. Yeah, we going straight reprimand, cause the people did us dirty and never got punished. From here to France, they out here preaching peace, but to us ain't none given. Convince us to protest, but disregard how we living. Well, soon y'all gon' know how we feeling. Yeah, how is coming back to prove to you that you ain't been forgiven. I'ma break it to you now that with this joint ain't no hook. The aristocrats on the mic pushing them words like a book. I'm anointed and I'm a saint and I got these niggas shook. I'm a Danite prince of the power and I can't be forsook. I think it's unfortunate that y'all couldn't face the facts. You so confused, you can't seem to break down Romans and Acts. When I teach, y'all got me losing all of my patience. Hear the word Israelite and then it turns to Galatians. Honestly, y'all need to do some investigating. My people acknowledge but still fighting for education. Broke them shackles off of my mind and set me free. Now, Father, y'all got me thinking immortal relation. Try and wake y'all up, but you suckers being complacent. Shot that nigga in the street, but how you grew up's adjacent. Take a nigga life for a little bit of wealth just to spend that shit and move back into your mama's basement. Now you become a Muslim so that your life don't get taken. Boy, assalamu alaikum, bean pies, green eggs and bacon. Allah just a title, not the name of the Most High. You an Israelite, soon to be seeing revelation. Hey, now they saying the prince is lyrical. I'm ruling this thing, but it ain't nothing empirical. Yahweh shot sent the comforter, got me feeling spiritual. Yasha Allah on the rise, I ain't even hit the pinnacle. Hey, y'all know ain't too many better than I start watching the on this mic, I even got a letterman. Skills concrete solid, I ain't talking settlement. Reppin' the Anointed House, man, you know we killing it. Hey, this time around, y'all better get a ticket. This youngin' hit a bomb like the 96 Olympics. Mess with the man of the Lord, might end up in the clinic. We taking the kingdom soon, 1 hour, 0 minutes.
Shalom, 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 Yasha Allah, shalom. Welcome back to another Milk Mondays. I am your co-host, Officer Knock, and first and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem HaMashiach Yahweh Shai. But I also want to say we apologize for the late start. There were some technical difficulties with StreamYard and also with my laptop, but we got everything back in order. I'm going to be joined shortly here with Captain Eliel. So I'm going to go ahead and go through my regular little intro that I usually go through. Hope everyone had a great Shabbat. We're starting the week off with this Monday. You know how everybody feels about Mondays. You know, they're not really that great. I know up here in Michigan, the weather is not nice. The snow has hit. The cold is here. My windshield got cracked. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not feeling it. But hey, I'm thankful. I'm thankful the Most High has me here yet, here in the land of the living. But we gonna, that is what it is. It's this is Michigan, so that's what it's gonna be, regardless. But before we get started, before Captain gets on, I want to pull up the calendar just to give everybody a reminder of some of the dates that we have still left. Events, a new moon coming up, right? Our next new moon is the 9th month, which will be coming up November 20th. Okay, so we'll be having either a class and we'll be gathering in certain parts of the country. So if you want to be a part of that, to gather, let us know, and we'll give you the areas where brothers will be coming together. Also, we'll be bringing a class out on that evening. Also, Feast of Dedication is coming up December 15th. The brothers will be gathering in North Carolina at the AHOS school that we have in North Carolina. Anyone who wants to come together for Feast of Dedication and wants to come to North Carolina, please let us know through email. That's anointedhos@gmail.com. Also, any brothers who are wanting to do the work with Anointed House of Saints and want to put their brick in, you can do so by letting us know your interest through email, anointedhos@gmail.com. Subject line, make sure you put prospect phase. All right. Sisters, also, we have a sisters ministry that we're putting together. So any sisters who want to join with us and do this work, because we need you to do the same thing, send us notice by email, and we'll get the information when that will be what that's going to be about and how that's going to be taking place. All right. All praises to the Most High. All right. Let me go ahead real quick. I haven't done this in a while. Let me go ahead and see who's in the chat. I'm going to give shout outs to everyone who was here on time. And I have to apologize. I wasn't, but the water for you being here. But I'll give a big shout out to our brother Nazar. Shalom to you, brother. Shalom. To the mighty, mighty Captain Shaquat. Shalom, shalom. To the lovely sister Misha. Shalom to you, sis. Shalom. All right. To the brother Ak of Rectitude. Shalom. Sister Leah. Shalom to you. Shalom. Hey, the lovely sister Issachar. Issachar, sister. Shalom to you, sis. Shalom to the mighty brother, to the mighty soldier Yaquab. Also the other mighty soldier in Vegas, to our mighty soldier Araya. Also to our another mighty soldier Gary. Shalom to you. Also another lovely sister down in the southeast part of the state, Sister Baya. Shalom to you, sis. Good to see you. Good to see you. Let me go ahead and bring him up. I think he's on. There we go. Boom. Shalom, Cap. How you feeling?
Tired, but it is what it is. Shalom, y'all.
All praises. Hey, it's that time of season, man. It's getting cold. Nobody wants to go outside. Everybody wants to stay inside. So, or at least up this way. So yeah, I understand. I know I'm tired. But we got an interesting class. I didn't even give out the title. Today's class, our Milk Mondays class, is called Islam versus the Israelites. Islam versus the Israelites. And it's funny because it's like this goes around in a circle. It just keeps going around in a circle. We'll talk about certain topics. We'll talk about certain, doctrines. We'll talk about things that are going on, in the world, with wars and and politics, and then we come back around to dealing with Islam. And I find it interesting because it's a no-win situation for them. So we're gonna see what Captain got for us. Hey, I hope everyone is I should say, how can I say this? I hope everyone is excited to know that this truth is not going anywhere. That this truth is going to go till we get the kingdom. All right. So, Captain, if you're ready, you can go ahead and take it over. Hey, shalom to, let me go ahead and pull this up also. Shalom to the mighty soldier Nadiyab. Shalom to G Israel. Shalom. Hey, excuse me. As you come to the building, make sure you like, share, subscribe if you have not already. We want to get all this information out to, that's right, undisputed. We want to get this information out to as many of our people as we possibly can. All right. So with that, I'm gonna go ahead and turn it on over to Cap.
Man, Israelites are getting on my nerves. I would have rather just slept, guys. Not gonna lie to you. But nevertheless, we're here. So
We are here.
shalom.
We are here.
Hope y'all doing all right. I'm tired and irritated. So that's me. That's the mood I'm in. That's what y'all gonna get, whether you like it, understand it, believe it or not. All right. So what we doing today? Today we have a video about the Muslims. Main reason I wanted to do this video is because a couple weeks ago I wanted to do it. Some other things ended up being a little bit more pressing throughout the week, so it ended up getting scrapped. And then Scott reminded me yesterday, literally, that I wanted to do this, so he made the flyer, and here we are. So, yeah, there's a couple of reasons why I wanted to go against Islam, why I wanted to show you guys some things. But in particular, there's a video that I saw recently with a woman who, well, she was talking to a Muslim, and there were some things that by the time like 5 minutes of the conversation went by, she wasn't talking like an Israelite no more. She was talking like she was a damn Muslim. You know what I'm saying? So, I just kind of wanted to go over some things just to show you guys how, one, a lot of the critiques that Muslims have for Israelites when it comes to the Bible and our manuscripts and stuff like that, they're not genuine critiques, not critiques that we should even be having to endure from a Muslim. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not something comparable between our two books. The things our books have had to withstand throughout the test of time, you know what I'm saying? Whether it's age, the type of materials it was written on, it being something that was, thousands of years before the Quran, um, and the Quran being an AD type of book. So the materials and the things used to make it are also, newer and everything like that. So we'll get into that as well. Something else that I don't see a lot of people talking about is the destruction of our manuscripts. Muslims always bring up how we don't have manuscripts that we have that are super old, especially for King James version, which is the version that Israelites use the most by and large. And most of the King James version manuscripts don't go past first century AD. At least that's what this guy's gonna try to allude, right? So that being the case, he tried to make it seem like, how are our books something that stood the test of time, how historically accurate is it and stuff like that. And one thing I want to point out, which we're gonna prove during this video as well, is that the Bible in its historicity, its historically accurateness, if you will, it's not really determined based off of what the Quran went through, and it can't be comparable. Reason why is because, like I said, the Bible goes beyond 333 BC. It's way before that, right? In fact, the part right before the New Testament was made around that time, 334 BC, right? 333 to 34 BC. When you're looking at things other than those books, right? Everything else is way before 334 BC. So, that being the case, that would be thousands of years that our book would have to withstand the test of time. When you look at papyrus or animal skin, those things are biodegradable. They don't last forever. So Israelites had to make different copies of the Bible all the time. If you're somebody that studied how long different Bibles lasted and stuff like that in antiquity, you'd notice and realize, and have probably done the research, that Israelite scholars used to frequently rewrite Bibles and versions of books, right? Because once they got old, couldn't really use them anymore. They got too old, writing would disappear, pages would shrink, pages would rip, pages would just turn to dust. Biodegradable.
Right.
Too much water, too much heat, too much moisture, anything like that could mess up one of those pages. So it's not going to last, 5,000-6,000 years. But the Quran, it only been around for, well, like 1.5 at this point, 2 most, right? And the thousands of years when it comes to length of time for the Quran have happened recently. It's a recent type of book. It's not an old book, right? So it's been able to catch 1,000 years in a time period where it could be refurbished. It could be, preserved. The type of printing paper was made different. It's got a film on it, so it's harder to rip. Uh, it has actual ink on it from a printer, so it's not gonna just fade away and disappear like how our books would have done, right? So it's not really comparable as far as the preservation of the two books goes, but we'll get more into that as the lesson comes on. But yeah, I just kind of want to go over this video. We'll look at it a little bit and see what the hell this guy's gonna say. And I got some things we're gonna pull up as well. And then we're gonna actually get into the Quran. I've done it before. I don't think I've done it since we've been on this channel. I can't remember honestly right now. But we're gonna go into it and we'll get some scriptures, get some surahs and everything like that to show you guys exactly what Muhammad was doing, what he wasn't doing, what he did and what he didn't do, how he is a prophet or isn't a prophet. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He's not one. But we'll show all of that and prove all of that, right? Via the Quran, not just the Bible. All right. So without further ado, let me try to put his joint back up. Y'all hit the like button if you haven't already. Baba Cashapp to Wadi Yahweh for another day, for another Milk Monday class. Now let's see what's good with this Muslim lantern nigga. The Stephanie Grace girl is supposed to be an Israelite woman, allegedly. So I guess shout out to Stephanie Grace, but there were some things she said that shows she don't know too much when it comes to the faith and shouldn't be up there debating because she doesn't know that much, right? Couldn't answer certain questions he was asking for this little conversation. This is something else that Israelites need to be mindful of, right? I know a lot of y'all just try to hop on people's platforms. We the Israelites and we all know this, that, and the third, and nobody knows the Bible like us. But some of y'all don't know the Bible like y'all think y'all know. Some of y'all don't know history like y'all think y'all know. Some of y'all don't know what y'all think y'all know.
Right.
So just because you might think you could go up there and talk a bunch of stuff and you might be able to explain some stuff on Facebook, don't mean when you actually get in front of somebody, it'll sound the same way or, come off the same way. And she made Israelites look pretty bad in this video. So, yeah, we're going to talk about it. All right. Nah, you got to see this?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Did you like what she did?
Did I like what she did? No. I think she confused herself even more. She was asking questions that she should have been asking us instead of going to him.
She doesn't seem like she's somebody that pays attention to camps.
Right.
So, shout out to you, duck monkeys. But anyway,
already that he was lifting. So we believe that this is a house of Allah that Allah Azza wa Jal created for the act of pilgrimage. And pilgrimage is an act for the Creator alone. In fact, when Muslims do pilgrimage, this is what they repeat literally. When we are in Mecca, when we do pilgrimage, when we do Hajj or Umrah, the minor pilgrimage or the major pilgrimage, we say that there is none worthy of worship or there is no partners with Allah. This is literally what we repeat. We say, Labbaik Allahumma labbaik, labbaik la sharika laka labbaik. You have no partner. Inna alhamda wa ni'mata laka wal mulk. The praise and glory and all of that is only due to you. La sharika lak. There is no partner. So this is literally what Muslims repeat. It has nothing to do with paganism. It's the exact opposite of what paganism is and pagan teachings are. Now, there was some statues that were put by the Arabs when the Arabs became pagan. And that happened when persons called Amr ibn Luhay, specifically. He traveled and he went to other lands and he saw Persians and he saw other polytheists worshipping idols. And then he introduced idol worship into Arabia. But in the beginning, there was no idol worship in Arabia. They always understood that this is the house of God that has been built by Abraham, who was his son Ishmael, where the Arabs come from. The Arabs come from Ishmael. The Arabs of today come from Ishmael. So they understood their father Ishmael, his father Abraham is the one who built this house. And that house was for worshiping God alone. But later on, this idol worship was introduced. And Prophet Muhammad ﷺ completely destroyed all of these 300 idols that were around the Kaaba.
So do you understand what this dude is trying to say right now?
Break it down to him.
Because I know he's hard to understand. So he's going to be talking like this, and he talks really fast, and it's going to be right. He talked like he got a falafel in his mouth. So, let me try to clear up what he said. So, homeboy is basically alleging against any historical evidence at all that Abraham somehow didn't just tell Hagar and Ishmael to leave. He walked their ass out the door and through the desert by himself. Didn't bring none of his camel guys with him. No camels itself. Just him and the lady and the baby. Just walked through the woods and he dropped them off in the wilderness. Right? Some man he is. And then left him there. And then somehow went back and built a house with Ishmael. And it's never ever recorded, not in the Bible, not in history, nowhere but with the Muslims. Right? So that's what he's alleging. Before I let him finish, I want to I want us to explore something real quick. Here we go. So, just do a quick Google search. Do any books speak of Abraham and Ishmael going to Mecca? Do any biblical books, right? Because a couple of us that have studied the Quran, or not even studied the Quran, but some of y'all have studied our videos of us that have studied the Quran, and we've showed you, different surahs, which we'll talk about today, that literally point to Muslims having to believe certain parts of the Bible, right? If not the entire Bible itself. Certain things that certain prophets from the Bible itself said, right? So Genesis would definitely be one of those books. It talks about it in the Torah, right? Genesis being part of the Torah, it's supposed to be something that they believe in. Well, the Torah doesn't say anything about Abraham ever leaving. Actually says something about him kicking out Ishmael and his mother, right? So let's just check this out. So, like I said, do any biblical books speak of Abraham and Ishmael going to Mecca? The Bible does not contain any books that explicitly mention Abraham and Ishmael traveling to Mecca or building the Kaaba. This narrative is central to Islamic tradition and is found in the Quran or other Islamic texts. A lot of people that are Israelites or Christians, even, because we had this question with us over the weekend at camp. A lot of Christians will ask, not this past weekend, but last week, a lot of Christians will ask, yo, why is it that Muslims even get the opportunity to call themselves like an Abrahamic faith? Well, this is the reason why. It's built into their religion, into their doctrine, right? That Abraham himself went to Mecca, right? Mecca, and he builds a house of the Lord for them to worship in with one God, with Ishmael. But then somehow, as you heard this guy say, they corrupt the one God thing, turn it into 360 gods, and then Muhammad has to come and clean everything back up again, right? So with the Kaaba, right? But they also say that Muhammad built the Kaaba with Ishmael. So it's like a double talking, double standard that doesn't really make any sense. But let's continue. It says the biblical account describes Abraham's journey through Canaan, Egypt, Hebron, and Beersheba, but does not mention Arabia, right? So if those of y'all ain't never seen a map before, right? Canaan, Egypt, is like Assyria, right? It's your Iraq and stuff like that. Canaan, obviously, you know where Canaan is. That's where Egypt is. I mean, that's where Israel is. Egypt, y'all know Egypt. Hebron, we're in that same region. Beersheba, between there and Egypt and Ethiopia, around that area, right? So then Arabia is further down. That's the southern part of the Arabian Peninsula, right? That's what Mecca is included into. So doesn't make any sense. After the birth of Isaac, Hagar and Ishmael were sent into the desert of Paran, which is northern Arabian Peninsula, not southern Arabian Peninsula. So based on the biblical narrative, which is before the Quran, right? Which the Quran is supposed to, believers of the Quran are supposed to believe in originally, never says that they were near what we would call Arabia, right? The closest is the desert of Paran, which would at most be considered the northern Arab Peninsula, which people don't really call the Arab Peninsula. The Arab Peninsula is from the south, right? So that's how that worked. Desert of Paran, where Ishmael grew up and became an archer, right? So that's that. So it doesn't really make sense with the biblical narrative based off the geographical location, right? So, okay. What in the world? What did Silas say? I don't know if you saying something, knock you on mute. But
No, I said I was just acting like I don't even see that because it doesn't make sense.
okay, got you. All right. Well then, let's get back to the video. So yeah, we saw that.
When Muslims came back to Mecca and took back their houses, the Prophet ﷺ, when he took authority in Mecca, he destroyed all of these idols. In fact, he told his companions, like Anas ibn Malik, to not see any idol and leave it. You have to break any idol. If you see any idol.
So again, the narrative that they paint is Abraham leaves and drops off the girl and the boy in Paran, which again, the Bible never says, because you have to remember there's another woman involved, right? Not just in the Bible, but historically, because Sarah's also in the Quran, right? So it's like, that being the case, they all know and speak of this woman, Sarah. Well, the reason Hagar gets kicked out is because of Sarah, right? So if Abraham is letting one go to deal with another one, and he's given a promise that this woman here, her child is going to have, he gives, Ishmael a little promise, but it ain't like what the other one's going to get, right? So like Ishmael gets his little 12 princes gift and stuff like that. He's going to be a mighty nation, all that stuff, right? Real fruitful, right? And then, yeah, shoo, right? So that's what happens. Whether y'all like it, understand it, believe it or not. And literally, we end up in a situation where Hagar and Ishmael are gone. Abraham, Sarah, still here. Then they have Isaac, right? So these are things people got to remember. For some reason, they added something else to the story. And she's about to question him on things that were added, right? I want you guys to be mindful of his response, because his response is not going to be something that we would consider credible, right? But at the same time, the response he's going to give is not going to be something any Muslim would allow us to give. It's not going to be a response that would be, viable for an Israelite to be able to say. But for some reason, it's okay for them to be able to give that type of answer, right? Rules for thee, but not for me type shit. So check it out.
Break it. So this idea of idol worship, it is the biggest sin that Islam opposes. So for someone to come and insinuate that Muslims have anything to do with polytheism is completely ridiculous from a historical point.
Right. So, okay, I understand that part. That's fine. But then my question is, if then it was built for me, I'm just still saying that you're saying that the Bible is a bit not accurate and there's no facts about it. There's no also record outside of the Quran that Abraham built that. So if you're coming from a standpoint from any other records aside from the Quran, there's no other actual proof that Abraham was commanded to build the Kaaba. It's just the only records we have in the Bible is that Abraham built an altar out of clay to the Most.
And you see, when I saw her say this, that's when I was like, what the hell? Because this has nothing to do with what she's trying to bring up. And for him being somebody that's not really studied in the Bible, watch his facial expressions. She brings up a clay altar.
Most High in his journey to find the Most High. If you read the other books of Jubilees or Jasher or any other of the apocryphal.
And then she brings up apocryphal books like Jubilees and Jasher, where the altar, the book on the situation with the altar is found in Genesis chapter 12. You don't have to read Jubilees or Jasher or any apocryphal book to read that situation. You know what I'm saying? So obviously, no offense to the ladies, but sometimes y'all shouldn't be doing stuff like this. Just saying. Because y'all don't particularly do it right all the time. Hold on, I want to find something right quick. Yeah. All right. So look, when it comes to the altar, right? Genesis 12:8, Abraham built the altar in Shechem, in the land of Canaan, at the great tree of Moreh, right? Actually, let me see if I can pull this up right quick. Yeah, let me pull this up right here, so y'all can see it with your own eyes. So, Shechem and Moreh have nothing to do with Mecca, right? They're in Canaan, which is not close to Mecca. So, that being the case, guys, this altar that she just brought up has nothing to do with the altar in Mecca that he had brought up. So, they shouldn't even be talking about this altar here, right? The geographical location of this one is clearly stated plain as day in Canaan, right? The great tree of Moreh. Okay, so it says that, and then in 12:8, you see him actually building an altar. So these are things that have to be understood, right? Then he moved on a hill country east of Bethel, where he built another altar of the Lord. He called on his name, right? Doesn't say nothing about Mecca, right? East of Bethel, which is still near Canaan, right? In the geographical location of Israel. It's not Mecca. It ain't Arabia. So to say that Abraham went there to build the altar with a baby, because Ishmael wasn't no grown ass man when he kicks out Hagar and Ishmael. Ain't like Ishmael was a grown, 18-year-old boy, 19, 21-year-old. He's a little nigga. You think Abraham gonna run to the desert with you know, a handmaid and a baby, and then build an altar in a big ass rock with a baby? That makes no sense, guys. Makes no sense. Does that make sense to you? Not? It don't make sense to me. So
No, none at all.
don't make sense to me at all. But watch his response, because she's questioned him now, right? And again, she brings up Jasher and Jubilees in the altar. I don't know why, because the altar has nothing to do with Jasher and Jubilees. It's in Genesis. Woman.
Books that have been taken out. So it's like, for me, how can that be in quote verified aside from the scholars that qualify the Quran?
Well, the only history of Arabia is found with the Arabs. No one else has recorded the history of Arabia except the Arabs. And the Arabs have recorded that Abraham built the house and Ismail built the house with him. And this is what we believe. We do not need to convince anyone with anything. No one else has a historical evidence that opposes it, because
So he just said, we don't have to then prove to you guys that Abraham built the altar. The only history of Arabia comes from the Arabs, and we say that Abraham built an altar with Ishmael, a baby. So if that's what we say, that's what we believe, and we're going to believe it, and we don't care what you say. There's no historical evidence to oppose it. Yes, there is. The Bible. The Bible would be historical evidence from before that book, and it never says anything about Abraham ever going to Mecca, ever. Tells you he went to Syria, tells you he was in Chaldea, tells you he was in tells you he was in Shur, tells you he was in Elam, tells you he went to Canaan. Never says he went to Arabia. So y'all got to make that make sense.
no one wrote the history of the Arabs except the Arabs. So you have one of two options: either to
Nobody wrote the history of the Israelites except the Israelites. So because Christians used the history of the Israelites, they didn't write it. Why is it that if they teach certain things, now all of a sudden it has to be whatever the fuck they say? Has to be however they want it to be. Yeah.
Somebody jealous.
What?
No, I'm just saying. That's how I look at Muslims. They're jealous. That's how I look at them.
accept the history the Arabs wrote about themselves, or to claim that we don't accept it, which then we don't care. If someone accepts the history of the Arabs or not, it still makes it the history of the Arabs. Now, the question then now should be whether the Quran is true or not. And if the Quran is true, then Abraham did build the house of God. And We are in the house of worship of God. That's it. But to insinuate it's pagan, this is a
So if the Quran is true, then Abraham built the house of God. But if the Quran is not true, which we're going to prove today, then he didn't build the house of God in Mecca, which would mean it's not an Abrahamic faith, which would mean it has nothing to do with Abraham. Y'all just drew that in there to make it seem like it had something to do with Abraham. Just like you drew Second Surah, chapter 2, and verses 80 to 99, right? In there. He wrote that in there to explain why the Israelites don't rock with him, right? And you guys use that to make it seem like we corrupted something or we didn't accept him as a prophet and we have the corrupted book and this, that, and the third, right? All these different things that they had to make up to legitimize their prophet, to legitimize the book that he made. So it's written in the Quran why they had to legitimize it, how they had to legitimize it. And we'll talk about that today, right? Because a lot of Israelites don't go into that type of stuff.
different claim now than who built it, who didn't build it. That was not your original question. You insinuated things to do with paganism, and there is no historical evidence for that. So if you talk about
So, and then he said her question was who built it and who didn't build it, but then he doesn't answer whether it was built or not by Abraham or Ishmael, right? He instead just insinuates we should go off of whatever the Quran says because we're the only ones that have that information, which again is a lie because it's in the Bible, which for some reason this girl who's an Israelite that got on stage with this guy with 580,000 subscribers doesn't know to say it's in the Bible, and the Bible is older than the Quran, which would make the Bible an historical source that opposes what the Quran says on this particular topic. Right? So, yeah.
what the Bible says or the Bible doesn't say, as I said, where is the evidence that what the Bible says is historically reliable? Which Bible do you read first?
The closest one, which is KJ.
Now watch this. This is how they be dog walking y'all on the street. This is how a lot of y'all camps that been going up against the little Muslim guys. This is how they be making y'all look. They'll make you answer certain systematic questions that they have. And once y'all answer it, y'all sound stupid because the way you answered it or the question itself that you decided to answer was not an answer or a question that could be answered with the Bible. Right? I'll explain.
Okay, so you read the King James Version. That was written 611, 1611. How is that the closest? That
Because
reliable
that
manuscript.
was-
Yeah.
Sorry, the closest to it. Sorry, the closest one was because that was translated from King James from Hebrew directly from Hebrew to Latin. So it has the closest translation from original Hebrew text is what history is saying. Which is why King James.
King James, by and large, I would say has the best harmonizing translation from the Old English, from the Hebrew to the Old English, right? But most accurate translation, we gotta stop calling it that. Because there's a lot of things not accurate in the King James Version. I'm not the only one that said it. Genesis has said it. House of Bread has said it. BOW has shown it. A lot of camps have shown it, right? Some camps ain't gonna show it because it's their bread and butter, which that's fine too. Use it how you want to use it, right? Just don't abuse it. The thing is, there's situations like this where this guy is going to point out some things from the Revised Standard Version, which is one of the revised versions of the King James. There's more than one, and that's the first one, well, second one technically, because the English Standard Version is supposed to be a revised version of the King James too. But anyway, the Revised Standard Version is a standardized revised version of the King James Version, and that version of the Bible literally tells you in the prologue that there's a lot of defects in the book that is trying to correct. So, which would be the King James. So, like when you got Bibles like that say things about the King James, we can't keep calling it the most accurate version of the Bible and with a straight face and seem intelligent. We can't keep doing that because it makes us look stupid. And then when you say it, and then you can't get out of situations like the one she's about to put herself in after he says what he says, make you look even more stupid. And then makes you look unprepared. So pay attention and I'll show you how to get out of this rabbit hole.
has been told to be the closest to the original version.
Well, that's inaccurate historically and inaccurate according to the biblical criticism scholars, because the King James is based on late manuscript. It's not based on the earliest manuscripts. In fact, it's based on, you can say, from 300 to 500, 600, this kind of date and range. It's not based on the.
Now, before I let him continue, let's say he's correct, right? Let's say the King James Version has absolutely no actual manuscripts that it's used to be copied from before 1 AD, right? Let's just hypothetically say this. So from 1 or 200 to 611 is pretty long time, right? A couple hundred years. Now, we're using advanced printed papyri by the time we get to 1200, right? When does printer? We got good ink around. Let me see something right quick. All right. And the first English printer was made in 1476. So if we go from, let's say, 1200, where we've got good ink and filmed paper, where now the ink can dry and the paper's got a film over it. So ink stays plastered on the paper pretty well, right? And the pages aren't just soft thin papyri or animal skin, so it's not biodegradable as much to an extent, right? Well, this is once we get to about 1000. Now, 1476, they're able to basically fully print, right, in England. So in other places of Europe, this also breaks out, and then we get the actual printing press, and we know about that, right? They talked about you in school. So this being the case, 1476, that's what, 800 years. That's 800 years after the Quran. So if we've got manuscripts that are able to stand the test of time, right? We got copies that were made. We got older manuscripts from 100 AD or 1 AD, older things, right? That we did have preserved, that other versions were able to use and stuff like that as well. So there are parts of the Bible that definitely were hundreds of years older than the Quran that were still able to stand the test of time. There were other things that, fell, and we'll explain why. Whether it was them being biodegradable material, animal skins, or bad papyrus, whether it was the paper in the actual Bibles and the copies of them getting destroyed. So the Israelite scribes had to rewrite them and remake them, which we did. We didn't let our Bibles get all frayed and messed up how a lot of y'all brothers do now. It was disgraceful to have the Most High's words in a book that looked like that. So y'all that got your Bibles all turned up every which way, they doing break dances and stuff. All the corners is up and stuff like that. Looked like it was in a horror movie. Got bad binding on the back. Like the scribes wouldn't leave the Bible looking like that. Once a Bible or a book started to look anywhere near that, they would start to recopy it. You know what I'm saying? Then they would have a period where they would scrutinize the copy, make sure that it's good. And once they felt like it was good, they would make that the copy at that time. And the older version, they would scrap it, right? So there's historical proof of that. I'll show you guys that in a little bit, but also wanted to show you this part. Well, hell, I didn't even show it. Let me pull this up real quick just so y'all can see it. So yeah, first printer in English was established in 1476. You know what I'm saying? 1611 is 1611 is when the King James version was created. So that's after this, right? And the Quran is only a few hundred years before this. So they've already got good paper, good papyri. The Quran was never in a situation and will never be in a situation to have to go through the textual scrutiny that the Bibles had to go through. Hasn't had to go through the textual preservation that the Bible has had to go through, because it wasn't made in a time where it was hard to preserve books, right? From the time that the Quran has been the Quran, people have been able to preserve artifacts. They've been able to preserve books. You don't see them talking about the Code of Hammurabi and artifacts from that age, in that era, right? Being things you just find in perfect shape and you find all the artifacts in perfectly readable form. They don't talk about that stuff because it wouldn't make sense. Well, the Bible is a book just as old as those. So, well, at least the Old Testament parts of it, right? Vast majority of them. So, but that being the case, like I was saying, that's something that had to stand the test of time. The Quran will never and has never had to do that. So, something else that needs to be, just honestly stated when it comes to these type of conversations that we have with Muslims, because they never like to admit that.
The earliest manuscript. And you can see that found in the RSV. If you open the RSV, which is a revised version of the KJV, they say to you in the introduction that the King James has great defects, does not rely on the earliest. So it's not my claim now. It is the 50 scholars that wrote that did the RSV, right? So this is what Christians literally saying about their own book. So they say that this has great defects. The King James version has a lot of errors, and it is not based on the earliest manuscripts, and that's why it required revision, and that's why they had the RSV and they had the NIV and all of these.
Now, it being not based on the earliest manuscripts is not why it needed revision. It's because the people who were writing the KJV weren't writing it in a way to actually revise it. They were just copying and pasting. So if there were any, as I said, a lot of the versions that we have are copies themselves. The originals of the Bible were put in situations like this. Hold on. Let's read it. Let's get some history for you guys, right? So there were situations like this that got rid of a lot of biblical artifacts. Yes, historical records, particularly from the Roman Empire, confirm instances of biblical manuscripts and scrolls being systematically destroyed by burning, most notably during periods of state-sponsored persecution of Christians and Jews. Christians being Israelites after Christ, and Jews would be the people that they were before Christ, right? So both groups had persecution and burning of scrolls and manuscripts. Says there's no specific evidence of Idumeans, because I asked about Idumeans and Greeks too, engaging in the burning of biblical manuscripts, though they were involved in conflicts with the Judeans, right? It's also going to tell you that they were the Romans, so it's not going to say Idumeans per se, but it does say the Romans who were the Idumeans, which means it's the same people. But anyway, Roman destruction of manuscripts. Now look at this, 303 AD, right? So Diocletian persecution. This was the most significant and well-documented instance of widespread state-ordered destruction. So if we have 303 AD, you think that there's going to be any artifacts, if we have any from, before AD, from BC, I think we'd still have some just 300 years after that, right? So we got access to all these artifacts, and he decides to burn them. The biggest, systematic burning of anybody's religious text ever known to man. Why would they leave all the Old Testament stuff, especially if it's the oldest, most sacred things, right? So, yeah, they burnt those. But watch this. It says state order destruction of the Christian scriptures. Emperor Diocletian issued an edict commanding that Christian churches be razed and their scriptures burned in public marketplaces across the Roman Empire. So if you got a church, anywhere they got scrolls, anywhere they got manuscripts, take them, burn them in the streets in the marketplace, right? So that the niggas could see their stuff burning as they go buy them some apples and oranges. The church historian Eusebius was an eyewitness to these events. And Eusebius, from what I understand, is also an Israelite. But he was an eyewitness to these events, recording that he saw the inspired and sacred scriptures committed to the flames in the midst of the marketplaces. Earlier persecutions, destructions of Jewish and Christian texts occurred in early periods as well, around 50 AD. 50 AD sound familiar to y'all? That's close to 70 AD, which is when the big destruction happens, where they also raised a bunch of stuff, right?
Yep.
So before that happens, because 63 AD is when that war starts, the war between the Romans and the Jews, the Jewish-Roman wars, right? That war starts in 63 AD. This is 50 AD, and they're burning niggas. Text. Roman soldiers seized and burned a Torah scroll in public. So this was specifically a Torah scroll. Which one? Nobody knows. Why? Because it got burnt, nigga. It's burnt.
Right.
So what we have left of those Torah scrolls would be copies that they had, underground copies, most likely, right? Because me and Nak were talking about this. It's one thing if you have a way of rewriting your manuscripts while you're in control, you're in your own land, right? But when you're in captivity to like Romans per se, right? The same people that didn't let you keep any feast days, didn't let you call yourself an Israelite, didn't let you do anything that an Israelite would do. You think they're going to let you rewrite the Bible after they burned them? No. So you're going to have to do it in secret. But
Right.
that being the case, because it's in secret, it's not going to be as properly scrutinized. It's not going to be as thoroughly looked through for mistakes, right? And it's not going to be as much time to correct mistakes. So certain things in there just got written and got kept the way they was, and then the copies were copied like that. If they're reading a copy or if they have a copy that has a mistake in it, guess what? They were going to end up copying the mistake. So you see some Muslims, they go and they get certain ages of people and all that type of stuff. They find little age discrepancies and things, right? There's no general understanding of what the age discrepancy might be, what the actual age might be talking about, right? Like there's a bunch of different nuances we could go into, which we probably will in a couple weeks for one particular topic revolving around this stuff. But point of the matter is, there's no way that they can tell you exactly what these scrolls say, what they didn't say, and if we have copies of it, that's what you'd be copying, right? Whatever the copy was, not knowing if it was automatically, authentically 100% correct, because you don't know what the original says. It's gone. They burned it. So, yeah, an incident that nearly sparked major Jewish revolt, them burning Torah scrolls. General Roman policy. The Romans generally viewed new or foreign religious practices outside of state control as a potential threat to social stability. So burning books or book burning was a method used by Roman officials to suppress religious activities and practitioners. Also, like telling them they can't keep the feast days, can't keep any Sabbaths, or practice any Israelite practices, or even call themselves such things, right? Don't do nothing that could cause a religious revolt. So, yeah, but they got book burning methods by the Roman officials to suppress religious activities and practitioners they considered a danger to the harmony with the gods upon which the security of the state depended. Loss of text. This is important. Many early Christian and heretical works likely perished through this combination of intentional destruction and simple neglect, as fragile papyrus manuscripts wore out and were not copied. What? Were not copied? Yeah, because say you got one on animal skin, right? It gets put in a book. People are reading the book. It's in a synagogue somewhere, right? And it's only one copy of the book. Then we get put in captivity. The Romans got control of the synagogue. It's on the altar. You can't just grab it and take time to copy it. They'd see you doing that, notice it was gone. So once the book gets destroyed, it's destroyed. Since you're in captivity, they're probably not offering you the opportunity to go and do what you want to do with the book. They're probably throwing it away themselves, burning it, if you will, right? So it's gone. They take the papyrus, gets burnt or gets misused. It's fragile, rips, turns to dust, whatever it might be, right? Shrinks so much that you can't read the words no more. All that stuff happens with natural papyrus, right? That's why they changed the methods that paper was made when they start, telling people paper come from trees and stuff. So, yeah, it says
Right.
as fragile papyrus manuscripts wore out and were not copied, the Dantist movement in North Africa arose in part from debates over how to treat those Christians who had handed over sacred texts to Roman authorities. So traitors, traidores, during persecutions. And then it's going to tell you the Idumeans, the Greeks don't really do nothing. The Idumeans were a Shemitic people who lived in South Judea, had a complex, often adversarial relationship with the Judeans. While they were involved in conflicts, no specific historical accounts detail them systematically burning biblical manuscripts. The majority of their interactions recorded in the Bible are historical texts relate to territorial and political conflicts, which when they become Romans, that would be what they would be doing. Systematically burning the books. Uh, it talks about Greeks during the Hellenistic period. So, book burning did occur in the Hellenistic period, which is the period of the 100 BCs, right, and beyond. So, this is BC area, and they're telling you, yes, they're still burning books in that period, Hellenistic period, right? Often against religious activities outside of official supervision. The Athenians, for example, reportedly ordered the works of the philosopher, however you say that nigga name, to be burned in the marketplace. Again, marketplace burning. Sound familiar? While the Library of Alexandria, a major center of Greek learning, suffered various damages over time, including a mass burning, with theories ranging from fires set by Julius Caesar to destruction by Christian mobs. There's no evidence of a targeted Greek campaign to destroy biblical texts specifically, though them things did get destroyed. In summary, reports of Romans burning biblical manuscripts are well founded in historical accounts, especially concerning Diocletian persecution. Claims regarding Idumeans doing the same, lack of specific evidence. Greeks engaged in book burning against certain philosophical and religious works, but not a focused destruction on Christian or Hebrew Bible as part of the widespread systematic campaign. All right, one more, just for good luck. So as y'all see, there was book burning. So it's not safe to just be able to say if you're a Muslim, hey, why are y'all manuscripts never as old as you say the Bible is? And why is it historically accurate to believe what it says? Well, for one, we had copies. So for there to be copies, that would mean most of them say the same thing, if not all of them say the same thing. That's how we have certain texts, certain Torahs, certain, books in the Old Testament, and as well as the Gospels. We have them in the condition that we have them, even after burnings and mass destructions and stuff like that, because of copies, right? So there were good copies, obviously. There were bad copies.
Right.
Just the way it works. So we've done enough scrutiny and made enough different versions of the Bible with different copies that we found over time and the different manuscripts that we found over time to now conclude, since every single version of the Bible basically says the same thing, might use a couple different English words, but they all basically, by and large, say the same thing. So we can conclude that all of the copies basically said the same thing, right? Now, we can prove this is not the case with the Quran. And I might do that today. Might do it in the next class, but we'll see. So, but we've done it before when I showed you guys the 180,000 different Arabic versions of the Quran. And there's not two different types of Arabic like there is English. I mean, English and Hebrew. You know,
did they catch what you just said?
I don't know. It might have went over their head. That happens a lot when I talk.
Wow.
There's 80,000 different versions of the Arabic Quran, but only one version of Arabic. There's 2 to 3 different versions, maybe 4, of Hebrew, depending on who you ask and what they decide to acknowledge, right? And we have different versions. But there's one Arabic language, 180,000 different versions of the Quran in Arabic. Let that sink in, sizzle in your spirit, right? But Muslims don't like to admit that. Shout out to Professor D. Dot. Yeah. But all right. Let me see. Do I want to finish that? Yeah, this right here. Y'all can see this on the screen? Okay, bet. So, is it safe to say historically that the biblical manuscripts are only gone because of burnings? No, it is not accurate to say that biblical manuscripts we do not have were likely all burned as a sole or primary reason. The disappearance of ancient manuscripts, including the originals or autographs, and early copies is due to a combination of factors, with the most significant being the use of perishable materials, papyrus and parchment, and natural decay over thousands of years. Why I say thousands of years? Because the Bible's been around for thousands of years, right? The Quran, I guess now, because we've been around for thousands of years after the Bible, but like while the Bible was around, it was there for thousands of years without a Quran. So that's how long those pages have had to be preserved, right? Rewritten, remade, recopied, all that type of stuff. Perishable materials. The original and early copies were written on papyrus, right? And then later parchment, treated animal skins, which shrink over time. So when it gets small, the writing gets smaller, gets harder to read. Then you got to use the glasses and magnifying glasses and all that type of stuff that the archaeologists be using to try to read the crap. And me and you ain't doing none of that crap. They wasn't doing it either. So when it get like that, they throwing it away, right? Making a new one. So these materials naturally degrade and dissolve over centuries. Catch that, degrade and dissolve, biodegradable. So after a while, you leave it there, it don't even exist no more. So if you're an Israelite scribe, which they report as burying books often, if you bury a biodegradable book in the ground, winter, spring, summer, fall, thousand of years, what the hell you think gonna happen to the book? Think it's gonna still be there? No, I don't think so. Right? No, this ain't too interesting for y'all, but it is what it is. Sorry. Constant use of wear and tear. Manuscripts were widely copied and heavily used for study and religious practices, which led to physical deterioration. All right. So that's that. And then you got the scribal practices of them burying the books, right? Practice of burying or destroying worn out practices known as Geniza or the Geniza custom. And it's to prevent them from being defiled once new accurate copies are made. Now, if we end up burning a book and then they destroy the brother that's making the new accurate copy, you don't get a new accurate copy. You got to deal with whatever copies is out there. So then they got to go underground, find the underground copy and make copies off the underground copy. And that's just how it will go, right? So we'll leave that there. Wow. Y'all don't like us talking about Islam, huh? It's all good.
New translations. But again, you don't have a Hebrew. When you say the original Hebrew, there's no original Hebrew anyways, historically. There's no carbon dated manuscripts from the first century. You have 0 manuscripts literally from the first century, from the life of Jesus. There's nothing from that time that is carbon dated to that time. Second century, late second century, you have the P52, which is like a card, like small, like this size, which has no relevant or reported information. So when you say that this is accurate because it's based on the earliest, that's inaccurate, as I said, based on what Christians themselves say. And second, you don't have an original to begin with.
Okay, you said 2 things there. First,
so that's that, right? But as you see, with them, they don't have to have an original. They just have to. Arabs wrote what they wrote. Arabs did what they did. You know what I'm saying? And that's that. So you have to believe what the Arabs say. That's how they do it. That's how they treat it. But hey, that's that, right? Well, for the 9 of y'all that are still in here, we're gonna go over some Quranic scriptures. So you got that Quran thing, that Quran joint?
Yeah, I tried to find one. I got the Surah al-Baqarah. The way, I'm not as familiar with. You might be more familiar with it when I pull it up.
I ain't familiar with no Qurans, but it is what it is.
Me either.
But hey, I know some of y'all don't like. Well, it's obviously a lot of y'all don't like this type of information when we get into the history and stuff and get to proving things. But for those of y'all that teach and talk to people on the streets and off the streets and on the train or whatever it is that you go talk to people, this is information that you need to know, because if you ain't been paying attention, a lot of our people are turning to Islam, right? They've been doing it for a long time and they're still doing it now. So to know different things and ways to cut Islam is very imperative. But a lot of y'all just like entertainment, so learning isn't things Israelites like to do, per se. It is what it is. Still gonna do what I got to do.
Right.
I'll teach 5 of you. So, all right. Well, can you pull that up so I could tell you where to go?
And let's see how this looks. Let's see.
Start at Surah chapter 3 and go to 113. I want to see what that say.
Surah chapter 3.
Yeah, third Surah. Just go to 3 and then 113. All right. I think you should have just clicked 3 on the, like, go back. Yeah, where you see the 3, the Ali, hit that.
Which
The
one?
Ali Imran 3.
Okay.
Ali Imran. Hit the name. And then go to scroll down to 113. It should be away on the side or something where you see numbers. That is crazy. You got to do it like that.
Hold on. I guess I'm not very
There
familiar with
you
this.
go. There it is.
Particular.
All right, don't scroll too much. 113. There you go. All right. We getting into the Quran today, folks. Read that. Let me see what that say.
It says, "Yet they are not all alike. There are some among the people of the book who are upright, who recite Allah's revelations throughout the night, prostrating in prayer.
Uh-huh. Keep going.
They believe in Allah and the last day, encourage good and forbid evil, and race with one another in doing good. They are truly among the righteous."
It used to say something else, so I guess this version reads a little bit different because it used to say that they preserved the book. But alrighty, so now I see that this ain't gonna say exactly what I needed to say, but it's cool. We'll work with it. Let me see. All right, so let me see what I want to pull out right here. For one, hold up. Okay, we'll do this. So I got a lot of Quran stuff, guys. Bear with me. My bad. All right. So let's start with Surah 2 and 47. It should say the same thing as Surah 2 and 122. But let me see. I'm just trying to see so we get acclimated with this. Hubla kubla. Don't go too far now. You know, they all got 200,000 scriptures. So
All right.
Yeah, 47. What that say?
It says, this is Surah 2 and 47.
Oh,
It
yeah.
says, "O children of Israel, remember all the favors I granted you and how I honored you above the others."
Go to 122. Scroll down. Let me see if it say the same thing. So Muhammad just be repeating stuff, huh?
Mhm.
That's what they be doing. Singing. Alhamdulillah. Bing, bak, bing, bing, boom, bak, bing.
This is Surah 2, 122. "O children of Israel, remember my favors upon you and how I honored you above the others."
Okay. All right. Similar, not exactly the same. All right.
Yeah.
Cool. Y'all know that one. Y'all ain't know the other one, huh? Y'all just gave you 2 of them in the same chapter. How about that? But look, so the Quran, right? It's a book that Muslims are supposed to believe in, obviously, but it's got things in it that literally tell them to believe in the book that we have that they don't want to believe in.
Right.
So I'm gonna read some things. Hold up, because there's one more thing I want to pull up if I could find the joint. Here we go. Here we go. All right, let me see. Give me no, not that one. What's this one? All right, give me 3 and 9.
3 and 9.
Yeah, start at 8. 3 and 8.
3 and 8. All right. 3 and 3 and 8. And it reads, they say, our Lord, do not let our hearts deviate after you have guided us. Grant us your mercy.
Hey,
You are
go up. Start at 4. Start at
Four.
4. I want to see something.
4.
Hold on, go a little bit more because that looks like it's starting at the.
Yeah.
Start here.
3 and 3. Okay, Con.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah. This is a good one. Start there. Start there.
This is right. This is
Pay attention, guys.
This is Surah Ali Imran 3 and 3.
So yeah, just say Surah 3 and 3.
Yeah, Surah.
Get all the Ali Imran. Screw Ali and Imran. All right, it's just Surah 3 and 3. What we looking at, just real quick. So what we about to look at, right? You hear us talk all the time. Israelites say they're supposed to believe in the Bible. They're supposed to believe in the Torah. They're supposed to believe in what we say, but they never believe in it. They always try to say that we changed the book. If the book got changed, they don't have to believe in it. This, then, the third, right? All that crap the Muslims be saying so that they could discredit the Bible and just be into the Quran. Well, there's things in the Quran, like I was trying to tell you, that make it so that they're not supposed to be able to do that. The problem is Muhammad was a double talker, right? So we're going to read Surah 3 and read what he's about to say here and how he gives reverence and credence to the Israelites and the people that came before him. But in the chapter before this, Surah 2, the same chapter where he was just telling us, I love you above everybody else, you're going to see the same nigga Muhammad, cracker nigga. You're going to see the same Muhammad start basically and literally cussing us out for not accepting things the way he wants us to accept things, because he wants to be a new prophet. So
right.
We're going to talk about it. But read that, Surah 3 and 3. Let's just read.
The Surah 3 and 3. He has revealed to you, O prophet, the book in truth.
So look, the book in truth that was revealed. Of course, the prophet he's talking about, he's trying to call Muhammad a prophet because this is Muhammad talking to himself. He's got his scribe writing as if it's God talking to him, but it's him talking to himself. Right? So, yeah. You know how some of you niggas that's Christians, or when you was Christians, used to be in your head, you hear the voice in your head called your conscience, and it say something to you, and then you'd be all high and mighty and say, oh, that was God. I heard God tell me, and God said, right? Well, Muhammad was doing that one day. In fact, every day that he decided to have that scribe write the little thing for his Quran, that's what he was going through, right? And it was probably had to do with him being married to a Christian. She probably told him, it's God in your head, whatever the hell she said. And here he is writing about it, right? So he's calling himself a prophet, saying that the book was revealed to you in truth. What's it supposed to confirm, Knock?
It says, he has revealed to you, O prophet, the book in truth, confirming what came before it, as he revealed the Torah and the gospel.
So this is literally telling you that the Quran is supposed to confirm what the Torah and the gospel say. So if the Torah and the gospel tell us that Abraham dropped off, or not dropped off, but kicked out rather, Ishmael and Hagar, he didn't drop them off. He didn't walk them to the wilderness bus stop and leave them there. No, they walked on their own and caught the Greyhound to Never Land, right? On their own, without Abraham. Abraham stayed with Sarah and had a baby, right? So that's what we have to understand. There was no tracking. And then when Abraham and Ishmael and Hagar get to this place that Abraham never went to with Ishmael and Hagar, they try to say that Abraham built a rock, a big ass black rock with a baby Ishmael, in a house at that. He builds a big ass black cobblestone rock and a big old house with a baby, and then leaves to be with Sarah and Isaac. So he built the house for nothing, to never return, just so they could say, this is a house of the Lord. And then the nigga said, after he built the house where he taught them to worship one God, Allah, they decide to worship 360 gods after that. And then they got to wait for Muhammad to show up whenever that happens, 649 AD, just for him to make them believe in one God again. But they all saw Abraham build the house of the Lord with a baby and a rock. It don't make no sense. Because if I seen an old nigga build a big ass rock with a baby, I don't need to believe in no other God.
Right.
What, nigga? What? You serious? If I see, shout out to brother Yakumya, right? Miss Yakumya. No, he gonna see this. So let's say Yakumya, right? Yakumya builds a house with who's a young little man in the camp? Trying to think. Somebody small. With Malak. Let's say Yakumya build a crib with Judah's son Malak. And they build a big ass black rock. Would you need to see anything else to know the Lord is real? I wouldn't. Like, bro, what? You serious? Y'all did this?
Right.
The two of y'all? But that? Yeah, where do I sign up? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't get it. But that ain't what happened. It says it's supposed to confirm the book that came before it. And the books that came before it, the Torah and the Gospel, never say that Abraham did that. That's something that they made up. They try to include themselves into something that was never for them. Right? Keep reading. What's verse 4 say?
Verse 4. One second. Go back to it. Verse 4. It says, hold on, let me go back. And it says, as he revealed the Torah and the gospel onto verse 4 previously as a guide for the people, and also revealed the decisive authority.
So he reveals the Torah and the gospel as a tool to people and a guide, and reveals decisive authority. The Torah and the gospel is only written by Israelites, nobody else.
Right.
But then authority gets passed to some nigga, some heathen, some cracker, some Edomite from a cave. What? So much for decisive authority. That's not decisive. That's indecisive.
Yep.
Keep reading.
Revealed the decisive authority. Surely those who reject Allah's revelations will suffer a severe torment. For Allah is almighty, capable of punishment.
Why did he say that? Because of what happened before this. He's trying to talk himself back up, right? Pump himself back up because he just got told off by the Israelites and, basically cursed us with severe torment, right? And says that this is what the Most High is going to give us because of our punishment for not allowing him to be the next prophet or believing that he's the next prophet. to reveal and confirm the gospels. So that's that. Hold on a second, Knock. Let me see.
All right.
Oh yeah, read that. Jump to verse 84 in the same 84? Chapter. Just go there. Then we'll go back to chapter 2 so we can read why he's so mad about what was revealed, right? So we've read so far, just to show you guys the nuances in chapter 2, we read Surah 2 and 47, which says the same thing as Surah 2 and 122, which is the only Quranic verse that any of you Israelite niggas know. Which is cool because it says something about Israel. But Surah 2 and 47 says the same thing, just a little bit differently, which is the same as our Deuteronomy 7 and 6, just for them, right? Then we read You can read the whole chapter of 3. Apparently, Surah chapter
Right.
3 also is confirming what we know already, right?
Right.
So
Right.
now we're in Surah 3 and 84. What does that say?
God, this is the book of Sirach
Surah,
3.
Surah,
Surah.
Surah, Surah.
Yes, Surah chapter 3 and verse 34. I'm sorry. Is it 34?
84, I think.
80,
84.
is it, oh, let me see. Yeah, 84. So like, say, O prophet, we believe in Allah and what has been revealed to us and what was revealed to Abraham, Ishmael, Isaac, Jacob, and his descendants.
So wait. Oh, wait.
Mhm.
They acknowledge the descendants of Jacob.
Yep.
Why the hell they mention Ishmael? They didn't mention Esau, but they mentioned Isaac.
Yep.
You see how they try to include them things in something that's never. He obviously believed up to this point. Midian ain't here.
Right.
Medan ain't here. Them Keturah's kids. You ain't got Medan, you ain't got Midian, but you got Ishmael,
Right.
the handmaid kid. What? Why? Why would you do that? You ain't gonna add the other wife's children? Keturah had a lot of kids,
Right.
couple boys, but you gonna add Ishmael? And then they know Isaac got a brother. Jacob got a brother. Jacob got a brother. Right? Isaac got 2 sons. So they try to mention both of Abraham's kids, but they don't mention both of Isaac's kids. Why?
Right.
Ain't that coincidental?
Yeah.
They knew not to do that. Why they ain't mention Esau? Why he ain't on the list? Right? So it's like, But it says, we believe in Allah and what was revealed to us, revealed to Abraham, Ishmael, Isaac, Jacob, and his descendants. But in the Bible, the people it says it was revealed to, it's just Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and his descendants. Ishmael's not there because Ishmael got kicked out. Ishmael got the boot, the Louisiana slammer, right? Keep going. Start at and after descendants.
Okay. And his descendants, and what was given to Moses, Jesus, and other prophets from their Lord.
What? Whose Lord?
Their Lord.
It's even spelled with the IR.
Right.
Possessive.
Specific, and possessive. Yep.
Specific and possessive. Tongue twister. So, I don't understand. How do you include Ishmael here? It's as if he's doing things that he knows he's not supposed to be doing, but trying to include himself and his people into something that they're not supposed to be included in.
Right.
Knowingly, because he knew not to include none of the other children of Abraham. So, and Moses and Jesus got put there. So you got a relocation back to the Torah and the gospel. When he goes to mentioning older people like Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and his descendants, which would include Moses, but then goes to say what was given to Moses and Jesus and other prophets of the Lord, their Lord. So the other prophets would be people like Paul and, the disciples. Because you guys do know that Muhammad believed in the New Testament, right? His wife was a devout Christian. So, yeah. Keep going.
God. It says
What was given to Moses and Jesus?
I'll just go back. And what was given to Moses, Jesus, and other prophets from their Lord. We make no distinction between any of them, and to him we fully submit.
They lying because they haven't fully submitted to none of this.
Right.
You see how you could cut them with their own book? They're supposed to fully submit to what was told and given and revealed by Moses and Jesus. Yep. But they'll tell you all the stuff that we have from Jesus, at least, has been tampered with. The Christians have changed it. So we don't have to believe it. That's what they teach, right?
And create their own narrative.
So that's what they've done. What's 85 say? Because I ain't never read that.
85. 1 second. I go back.
It's right under you. So just scroll down a little bit.
Sorry, there we go. 85. It says, whoever seeks a way other than Islam, it will never be accepted from them.
Huh. Oh, okay.
And in the hereafter, they will be among the losers.
So now you gotta go from just one verse over, from confirming everything from the Torah and the gospel and Moses and Jesus, to you gotta accept Islam, which ain't got nothing to do with Moses and Jesus.
Right.
Hey, it's crazy. All right, so look, let me go back to my other page real quick. Oh no, not this one. That one. All right, so let's start at Surah 2 and 80. Let's get the gist of this thing, and then we'll probably get ready to go.
Surah 2.
After this, you'll understand why he says what he says.
Man.
He starts condemning us at the end of chapter 3. The beginning of chapter 3, he's believing what we say. At 3 and 84, he's believing what we say. By the time 3 and 85 come around, you know what I'm saying? You got to believe in Islam or it's a wrap for you. So,
All right.
let us read.
This says, some of the Jews claim the fire will not touch us except for a number of days. Say, O prophet, have you taken a pledge from Allah? For Allah never breaks his word. Or are you just saying about Allah what you do not know?
So he's claiming things, I guess, that he spoke to and heard from Israelites on his camel driving trips, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whatever the thing about the fire not touching us means. Something he heard. He writes it or has his scribe write it, right? And now he's questioning himself. Because again, the Quran isn't really a book of religion, so to speak. It's a book where this dude is talking to himself.
Mm-hmm.
The whole book. It's his thoughts to himself, like a autobiography, if you will. Spiritual one. And he's trying to convince himself that he's a prophet. Here, you're about to see him have an actual temper tantrum in his brain about the actual prophets that he's been learning about God from, not accepting that he's a prophet. So, let's read. Go ahead. Keep going. Next page. Next verse.
81. But no, those who commit evil and are engrossed in sin will be the residents of that fire. Salakia, will be the residents of the fire. They will be there forever.
See, that's Christianity. That's because he believed in Christianity. He was a Christian. His wife was a Christian. So people burning in a fire forever, that's not a biblical thing, but it's a Christian doctrine, right? Definitely a Christian doctrine that existed around 600 AD. So that's where he got that from. That's not a biblical narrative. That's not something the angel Jabril came and told him was going to happen. So the hypothetical question he asked is the fire only going to, where he said the fire is only going to touch some of the Israelites. Well, the reason somebody would tell him that is because, yeah, we're talking about, you know, the fire of the last day. What we would now call the nukes, now that we know what they're going to comprise of, right? Those fiery arrows that are going to shoot through the sky. It's not supposed to touch all of us. It's supposed to be some that get preserved. But him not knowing that, because he don't know the Bible in entirety, he goes, what the hell you mean? Did you make a deal with Allah? Or are you just speaking things you don't know? Because he don't know what he's talking about. He thinks he's talking about sin, the fire for the sinners, the lake of fire, right? He don't know what's going on here. You feel me? Keep going.
God. 82.
He's a Christian.
Right. 282. 2 and 82. And those who believe and do good will be the residents of paradise. They will be there forever.
And his paradise involves what, like 140 million boy servants or something? When Muslims go to heaven and they get their paradise, they blow you up in the plane in Allahu Akbar, boom. They're supposed to be waking up to eternity to get more little boys than they have wives. Let that sizzling spirit. Right. Go
ahead. 83. And remember when we took a covenant. Hold on.
Yeah, that's what he said. You're right. You're at the right spot.
And remember, when we took a covenant from the children of Israel, stating,
How you gonna take a covenant from somebody?
right.
How you gonna take their covenant? See what I'm saying?
Wow.
And when he says we, he's not talking about his people because they were all pagan, right? 360 guys. He's talking about himself. He took the covenant from the children of Israel, stating what?
I wonder if, okay. And remember, when we took a covenant from the children of Israel, stating, worship none but Allah.
Because Israelites would see him on camel driving trips and they would tell him, hey, you want to get to know the Most High, you only worship the Lord.
Yep.
Allah is a way to say power. If Israelite merchants, which existed in the 600s, I told you about the tribe of Dan and them, right? Selling Edomites and everything. This was also a thing in this time, even though Edomites were in power.
Right.
They were still getting sold. We were getting sold too. But nevertheless, so our people know the word Allah. Arabic is a language that our people would have known back in this time, especially if we're in the Middle East, right? So, I mean, the name, the word for God, we all know. If we are the Israelites and the name of the Most High is sacred to us, we're not going to give a heathen the name but the Most High. What we will tell him is Allah, God, right? Especially in a time where Christianity is big. God is what the Christians call God anyway, right? So we would give you the name Allah. A-H-L-A, right? A-L-A-H. So he's spelling it A-L-L-A-H because he didn't get the actual spelling of it. And he's spelling it as if it's Arabic instead of Hebrew.
Right.
But the word and the meaning of the word is the same thing. So that's something that you got to take into account there. Tazarah, shut up. All right, go ahead, read that.
Come on. It says, and remember when we took a covenant from the children of Israel, stating, worship none but Allah, be kind to parents, relatives, orphans, and the needy. Speak kindly to people, establish prayer, and pay alms tax. But you Israelites turned away. But you Israelites turned away.
From who?
Except for a few of you, and were indifferent.
Okay. So here you could take it as he's saying we turned away from him or we turned away from the Lord. I wonder which one he's talking about. We'll see in a moment. Go ahead. Did we turn from the Lord or did we turn from him? Go ahead.
And remember when we took your covenant that you would neither shed each other's blood nor expel each other from their homes. You gave your pledge and bore witnesses. You keep reading?
Yep.
Okay. But here you are, killing each other and expelling some of your people from their homes, aiding one another in sin and aggression. And when those expelled came to you as captives, you still ransomed them, though expelling them was unlawful for you. Do you believe in some of the scripture and reject the rest? Is there any? Do they?
Well, the thing he's doing, right? He's trying to justify him being a new prophet now. So he's writing in his book things that he sees us doing that are counterproductive to each other and the things that we believe in based on our Bible and our law and our Torah and stuff like that, right? So he's trying to make us look like hypocrites. And him making us look like hypocrites is supposed to justify him being brought up and put up as a prophet, right? That's what you're going to realize the whole goal is here. Keep going.
Right.
It's going to become evident.
Do you believe in some of the scripture and reject the rest? Is there any reward for those who do so among you other than disgrace in this worldly life and being subjected to the harsh punishment on the day of judgment? For Allah is never unaware of what you do.
And I don't disagree with that. Go ahead. Keep going.
These are the ones who trade the hereafter for the life of this world. So their punishment will not be reduced, nor will they be helped. Indeed, we gave Moses the book and sent after him successive messengers.
Whoa. Now this is where it gets a little weird, because who is we?
Right.
What? So now he's starting to talk like if he's the angels. Now he's going from being God in his head to now he's the angels. All of them. And we gave Moses the book and sent after him successive messengers, right? So we sent after him the Israelites to also send messages. Keep going.
Right. Indeed, we gave Moses the book and sent after him successive messengers. And we gave Jesus, son of Mary, clear proofs and supported him with the Holy Spirit. Why is that? Every time a messenger comes to you, Israelites, with something you do not like, you become arrogant, rejecting some and killing others.
So look, again, why is this the case? Why is this the argument here? Because he's already been rejected by certain Israelites, which he's going to tell you as he gets further down and we write this. You're going to see where the tantrum is coming from. Right? So go up a little bit more to where you just were. Go back to the last verse.
Yeah.
So him saying, why is it that every time a messenger comes to you, Israelites, with something you do not like, right? It's because he went to Israelites with, hey, I'm the next prophet. And they was like, nigga, what? You ain't even Israelite. How you gonna be a prophet? You ain't even us. What you mean? So then he caught that becoming arrogant, right? He knows that allegedly to the Christians, we killed Jesus because that's the narrative, right? Him being a Christian, he's going to say, you reject some and kill others because he's taking us as rejecting him. And then the narrative that we killed Jesus. So you reject me and kill Jesus. That's literally what he's trying to say here. Propped himself up, right? Because he was rejected by some Israelites, which he'll explain when we get to about verse 93. Go ahead, keep reading.
Let me just
just read the next verse. Just read the next verse.
Read the next verse. Okay, okay.
If they missed it, they'll forget it. They can scroll back.
They say our hearts are unreceptive. In fact, Allah has condemned them for their disbelief. They have but little faith.
See that? Little disbelief. Disbelief in what? Little faith in what?
Right.
The fact that he's a prophet. Right? Keep going.
Right. Although they used to pray for victory by means of the prophet over the polytheists, when there came to them a book from Allah which they recognized, confirming the scripture they had in their hands, they rejected it.
What? What's he talking about?
Right, the Quran.
Yes. When he tried to bring them knowledge of a book from a book that ain't their book, that has things that their book has in it, they said, no, we good. Yeah. Our book says that. Right? That crap he just tried to say about how there's Israelites that are bad for other Israelites. They be betraying other Israelites and they going to get what's coming to them. Yeah, we have an example of that. His name's Judas. Our book says that already. Yeah.
Right.
We don't need a Quran for that. We already got something to show us that. We got an example of it and everything. So why do we need this again? And he's like, they rejected it. So may Allah's condemnation be upon the disbelievers, because we now are disbelievers, not of the book, not of our own scriptures, but of him bringing us our own scriptures, of him being allowed to bring us our own scriptures, right? Although they used to pray for the victory by means of the prophet. So although you guys used to pray for victory by a prophet, the Most High sent you one, and now you don't want to believe it. Nigga, we already had a prophet. His name was Jesus. We're going to get victory by him. He wasn't sending your ass for no victory for us. Who are you? Right? And that's probably how they was talking to him. He didn't like that. So it became a situation where he's just like, okay, y'all don't want to deal with me? Y'all don't believe what I'm saying? Well, this is what we're going to do then. I'm going to condemn you all to hell. Condemn all the disbelievers. Right? Read the next verse.
Yeah. It says, miserable is the price they have sold their souls for, denying Allah's revelation and resenting Allah for granting his grace to whoever he wills of his servants.
Why? Because Israelites, just like we do now, no new thing under the sun. You can't be no Israelite if you ain't an Israelite. You can't be no priest if you ain't an Israelite. You can't serve the Most High if you ain't an Israelite. We was telling them that back then in the desert on camels.
Right.
Muhammad didn't like that. Right?
Yep.
That's how we know some of y'all that be mad at us for saying those things to heathen. We know that y'all weren't people that were fighting for this stuff back in the day. Y'all might be heathen. Because the ones that was really Israelites wasn't just allowing heathen to come in and take part and grab hold and come to Passover, nigga. They wasn't doing that. They was telling them you can't partake. So much so that heathen that wanted to partake, like Muhammad, got mad and wrote it in a book. Condemned us to hell. Miserable is the price that they are for selling their souls, for not believing me, denying Allah's revelation, and resenting Allah for granting his grace to whoever he wills of his servants. Well, his servants can only be the Israelites.
Right.
We ain't mad at him for granting his grace to whoever he wills of his servants. What we mad at is you saying he could grant his grace to whoever he wills that don't serve him, when that would be hypocrisy to what he deals with.
Right.
Most High don't deal with people that don't serve him. Right? So like that's how that works. So for you to act like that ain't how that works, we wouldn't accept that. We know that you ain't coming from the spirit of the Most High. There's no Holy Spirit resonating from somebody that thinks and believes and says that and teaches that. And when we repeated this to Muhammad, he got upset and condemned us. Keep going.
God. Where they have earned. Yeah.
Yeah, just start there. They have earned wrath. People can read. They'll be all right.
They have earned wrath upon wrath, and such disbelievers will suffer a humiliating punishment.
Mm-hmm.
When it is said to them, believe in what Allah has revealed, they reply, we only believe in what was sent down to us.
What? So do you see it now?
Right.
Do you understand what's going on? Believe this white boy with the red hair,
right,
skinny ass Edomite from the caves, that God sent him to you.
Right.
And we like, what? He sent you? You? We got descriptions of what Yahweh Shah is supposed to look like. He ain't supposed to look like that.
Right.
Daniel ain't see this guy. What are you talking about? And he's like, oh, how dare you believe in what Allah has revealed? And we're like, what? You? We laughing at him. He ain't like that. Keep going.
God.
After
when it is said to them, believe in what Allah has revealed, they reply, we only believe in what was sent down to us.
We only believe what was sent to the Israelites, bro. We ain't got nothing to do with that. Go ahead.
It reminds me of Christ being tempted. Anyway, we only believe in what Christ was sent down to us, and they deny what came afterwards, though it is the truth confirming their own scriptures.
So he's trying to say, though I'm saying things that their scriptures say, they deny me. No, nigga, you only saying things our scriptures say because we told you what our scriptures say. Ain't because you got no revelation. It's documented. Even within this conversation, you're explaining to us in your own words that you tried to tell us some stuff about our book. We didn't believe it. And you like, but what you mean? I'm saying the same thing your book say.
Right.
So we like, well, then why don't we just believe what our book say?
Right.
Why we need to believe you if you're saying the same thing?
Right.
Huh? Why not just go with what our people gave us? Why we have to go with what you saying if it say the same thing, bruh? Go bring that to your people. Go ahead.
God says we only believe in what was sent down to us, and they deny what came afterwards, though it is the truth confirming their own scriptures. Ask them, O prophet, why then did you kill Allah's prophets before, if you are truly believers?
And again, the prophets he's talking about would just be Jesus. So keep going.
God, indeed, Moses came to you with clear proofs. Then you worshiped the calf in his absence, acting wrongfully. And when we took your covenant and raised the mountain above you, saying, hold firmly to that scripture which we had given you and obey, they answered, we will hear and obey.
No, we will hear. They answered. You read that wrong.
What was that? I'm sorry. And
You read it
when we
wrong.
did I read it wrong?
Yeah,
Somebody?
like I'm talking about the words. It says, stay where you at.
All
It
right.
says, saying, hold firmly to that scripture,
Which we
which,
have given you and obey.
uh-huh.
Okay. Hold
The part
firmly.
after that you read wrong, I'm saying. Keep reading.
Oh, okay.
They answered.
All right. They answered, we hear and disobey.
There you go. So
Kind.
he's trying to say the scriptures told us to hear and obey, and we said, well, we hear but disobey. So
Right.
he's trying to be funny. That was supposed to be a laugh for the Muslims. They supposed to hear that because it's supposed to make them laugh while they're reciting. Because they don't read it, they just be singing and shit.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So
Right.
but that's supposed to be a chuckle moment for them. Go ahead.
Kind. The love of the calf was rooted in their hearts because of their disbelief.
Mm-hmm.
Say, O prophet, how evil is what your so-called belief prompts you to do if you actually believe in the Torah.
If you actually believe in the Torah, why are you trying to be the prophet instead of letting it be Jesus?
Right. Wow.
Crazy.
Mhm.
Read that part.
Kind. Say, O prophet, if the eternal home of the hereafter with Allah is exclusively for you Israelites.
He didn't like that. That means somebody told him, hey, bro, you can't even get to heaven.
Right. Right. Isn't that crazy though? That's the, I
Y'all
mean, I
they
remember
be mad.
I said this earlier before we even get into that. I said, sounds like someone is jealous.
Yeah. And he was.
Yeah.
And you see it, right?
Yep.
The
Yep.
same way Christians be jealous now.
Yep.
Muhammad was just a jealous Christian. That's all.
Yep.
And when we was telling him the same thing, we be telling the Christians, hey, bro, this ain't for you. This for us. He was like, nigga, how dare you? Tusk. I was at church. My wife is a Christian. Jesus came to save all humanity. God so loved the world, who he gave his only begotten son. And we was like, nigga, shut up. Be quiet. That ain't what it say. That ain't what that means. And he goes, say, O prophet, if the eternal home of the hereafter with Allah is exclusively for you Israelites out of all humanity, then wish for death if that is what you say is true. Like, that's supposed to, Oh, Shakespeare, how dare they say that love is only for eternal bliss? Like, bruh, it's just banter. It's a what's the word I'm looking for? Excessive nature. It's flamboyancy. It's doing too much. It's OD. That's all he's doing here, right? Trying to show how angry he is with the fact that we told him he can't partake. He can't come to the cookout. He got upset. So, okay, well, if that's the case, everybody that's not an Israelite should just wish to die.
Right.
Well, okay, then, fine. We don't give a damn.
Wow.
That's literally what he's trying to say. We should all just die then if it's only for you guys. Okay, fine. You're going to get resurrected, so I don't care. Go ahead. Read the next one.
Let me go back to this.
95. No. Just read 95 for the second time.
Okay, got it. All right.
They'll be all right.
But they will never wish for that because of what their hands have done. And Allah has perfect knowledge of the wrongdoers.
They'll never wish for everybody to die because Allah knows what's going on for real. Go ahead.
You will surely find them clinging to life more eagerly than any other people, even more than the polytheists. Each one of them wishes to live 1,000 years. But even if they were to live that long, it would not save them from the punishment.
Why?
And Allah is all seeing of what they do.
Even the Israelites in 649 AD was talking about, hey, bro, we're going to get our spiritual power back and we're going to wipe the white off you, Muhammad.
Yep. Live forever.
You people talking about you're going to live 1,000 years. If you live 1,000 years, it's not going to save you from believing that I have to go to the lake of fire. Nigga, we don't care. We ain't worried about you. So you see, the sentiment that Christians have now is the same sentiment that Christians had then. There was just a Christian that became a Muslim because he couldn't come to the cookout. We told him that. So he decided to make his own book.
Yep.
I've already showed you the proof. You can look it up. His 42nd granddaughter is Queen Elizabeth, the one that just died a couple years ago.
Mhm.
He looked like them. That's his people. They the Christians that we talk about. That's mad. They the ones teaching the doctrine that he clearly believes in the Quran that isn't biblical.
Right.
You see? Muhammad was a Christian. Go ahead.
Okay. You surely will find them clinging to life more eagerly than any other people, even more than polytheists. Each one of them wishes to live 1,000 years. But even if they were to live that long, it would not save them from the punishment. And Allah is all seeing of what they do.
Mm-hmm.
Say, O Prophet, whoever is an enemy of Gabriel should know that he revealed this Quran to your heart by Allah's will, confirming what came before it,
So
a
here he goes
guide
again.
and a good news for the believers.
Here he goes again, trying to reiterate. Hey,
Right.
yo, anybody don't want to believe the angels, it's up to y'all.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He's trying to guilt trip you. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Hey, y'all supposed to be the Israelites, but you don't believe what this angel said? This angel said, I'm the next prophet. All right now. You don't want to believe him. The Most High gonna punish you. Hey, he gonna sing you to that lake now. You know? That's what he's doing.
Went around bullying.
I
You want to continue or?
don't know why I never heard this, bro. This is it. This is the Quran.
All right.
Huh? Why them other smart Israelites ain't never taught y'all this? They supposed to know more than we do, right?
Right.
We just a little camp. Read this one.
Con. This is 298. Whoever is an enemy of Allah, his angels, his messengers, Gabriel and Michael, then let them know that Allah is certainly the enemy of disbelievers.
So y'all was like, hey, he don't know Michael? No, he know Michael. He just ain't use Michael because Gabriel is the one that was revealing everything to the Christians in the New Testament, right? So since Gabriel saw Mary, he's like, Gabriel should see me too. Right?
Right.
That's how it go. Michael wasn't going around telling people, hey, bro, look, this was going to happen here. All right. It was always Jabril. So that's who he used to give him the vision. Right. But then he uses Michael because, you know, he's a Christian. Michael is the angel that get vengeance for you. So he's like, hey, you don't believe him? Michael got my back. Michael got me. It's all good. Right. He's a Christian. Keep going.
Con.
We almost done.
Con. It says, indeed, we have sent down to you, O prophet, clear revelations, but none will deny them except the rebellious.
So he's trying to reiterate, we got to be these rebellious people that keep denying him, right? Read this last one, and we're going to be done.
Got it.
I got to get this.
This is 2 and 100. Why is it that every time they make a covenant, a group of them cast it aside? In fact, most of them do not believe.
That's another shot. He's trying to dig at us. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? That's what he's doing. So you see, just like the Christians be mad, they make their little Christian videos on YouTube, trying to downplay us and lie about us and say things that we don't really believe and things in ways that we're not really acting, right? Try to treat us a certain way. They do this, and it's no new thing under the sun, literally. The Quran is like YouTube back then. This is the YouTube response for the Christians, and they just promoted it as a whole nother religion. It got picked up by the Arabs because those was the people he was around, and the Christians, knowing it was a actual white man that gave it to them, decided to include it in the Abrahamic faiths. And here we are, right? Because the Arabs aren't the actual white people that gave them Islam. The Arabs and the Christians and the fake Jews all fight. But those same Arabs, the real ones that Muhammad went to, also know enough about their Quran to know we shouldn't believe the Bible because it discredits our Quran. So we have to come up with things to make the Bible not seem true, so we don't have to believe the Bible like the Quran says we do. Again, the reason the Quran says they have to believe the Bible is because Muhammad was a Christian. He believed the Bible. So much so that he tried to make himself a prophet of the Bible, an Israelite, without being an Israelite. And then went to Israelites for their approval. They said, hell no. And then he wrote this whole chapter to condemn them. And then wrote the next chapter to reiterate that his book's supposed to confirm what our book says. He keeps talking about a covenant that our book says is only for us and will only ever be for us. Yet he's trying to include himself in it, while telling you to believe the Bible that says it's not for anybody else to be included in.
Right.
It's hilarious. So, yeah, that's all we're gonna do for tonight. We had 2 hours and it's 11:37. So, yeah, maybe next week or in 2 weeks we'll do another one where we could get more into some other things because we got notes.
That's right.
Like we got notes. We got different notes. We got different. You know what I'm saying? I got different little things with a bunch of different surahs in it. You know what I'm saying? Of research I've been doing throughout the years. That we basically all did on them classes. Me, Judah, and Araya was doing back at SOT, which you can still find on their channel, by the way. So if you want to get news on that stuff, I ain't got no quarrel shouting their channel out. I'm still on it. So, yeah, the Milk Monday videos on the Quran are still there, where you can see the 180,000 different versions of the Quran. So if you want to go watch that, go click on their channel and go to the Milk Monday playlist and find that video. Should be one of the first ones up there. So yeah, it's still there. Y'all can see. And I think we did 3 of those videos, if I'm not mistaken. I think Araya and Judah was on for one for a little bit of time before I got on there when I was doing my real estate classes and stuff. So it's in the daytime when we flipped Milk Mondays from nighttime to the morning and stuff for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, y'all can check those classes out too. It'll help you with your research for this. So that's all I got. Hope y'all liked it.
Nah, I think that was interesting because and that's the one thing, you know, you don't hear a lot of Israelites talking about, you know, actually being able to go into the Quran and being able to show. I mean, this what you laid out was showing how Muhammad was basically trying to. I mean, he was begging. He was trying to find some kind of way. You know, that's crazy. Now, I some of those scriptures you brought up, I did know, and I have those recorded. But these last few right here, this is this the Al-Baqarah or whatever version?
It gotta be, because I got the green one. It looked like what you got on your page. It looked like it looked just like this.
Okay, so. Con. Yeah, yeah. This part is new to me, so I'm glad that I'm gonna keep this, and I'm gonna highlight these and put them in my notebook.
I found it on accident in the freezer while I was at work during the pandemic.
Wow. All praises. Well, you know, I mean, like we say, you know, this truth is undeniable, and we got those of other beliefs and other systems who are just plain out jealous. I mean, they're just upset that they are not the chosen. Muhammad took it upon himself to go into a cave and say that some spirit came to him and told him that, you know, he was
did that. Him.
You know, and of course, you know, scriptures don't say that, right? The only prophets are our brothers, right? And that's it. Our brothers and the sisters are prophetesses, and you know, and they do their part. That's it. But hey, all praises to the Most High. I was trying to find a lion roar, but I ain't been on here in a minute. But y'all know how it is. It's late, but we thank y'all for being here, right?
Sleep.
Yeah, it is. We thank y'all for being here, though. I can tell you that much. So before we go, any brothers?
Anything else I wanted to show in here? Hold on.
Something else you want?
No, I think we good.
Okay. So just let me say this again before we go. Any brothers who want to, you know, work with Anointed House of Saints, let us know your interest through email at anointedhos@gmail.com. Any sisters, please do the same thing. If you want to work to help build this kingdom back up, send us your interest in email, anointedhos@gmail.com. I'm not going to hold you late or hold you anymore. Matter of fact, let me go back up here real quick because I was trying to see if I see anybody come in late, and there are a few people. I'll give a shout out to real quick. Let me go down. Sister, the lovely Sister Deborah, Casa de Zebulon, Shalom to you, Sister. Shalom to, I don't know.
Shalom, sis. Thanks for being here.
Con, I don't know who this Silas Jones is, but
Shout
you
out
know,
to
I mean,
Zebulon.
Shalom to the lovely Sister Neri. Shalom to, I think that's Mika. Mika 1. Shalom to that mighty soldier Kawal. Shalom to the mighty soldier DTA. Twan. And I believe that's about it. But hey, y'all, stay tuned for more classes with the Anointed House of Saints. You have just watched another simple and easy to understand class on our Milk Monday with AHOS. And let me go ahead and get that Daniel 7 and 18. And then we're going to go ahead and let you guys go and get some sleep. All right. Let me pull it up real quick. It's the book of Daniel 7, 18. And it reads, "But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever." And we say, Bahashem Mashiach, Yahweh Shai. And with that, this is Officer Knock.
Brother Eliel and the dog.
And Tazarah.
And Tazarah.
All right. And we are Anointed House of Saints. Thank you for sitting with us for another Milk Monday. Until next time. Hey, make sure you check out all the other classes. We got our Thursday night portion, our Torah portion. We have Friday night focus. We have our Sabbath morning brew. And then we're back around again for Milk Monday. But thank you for being here. And we'll see you next time. Shalom, folks.
Shalom.
This is not a test.
Black skin, black sauce, black Jesus, black music, 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 black music, black music, black music, black music.